Hello, this is Arlene with Design with Arlene, and welcome to the first tutorial in the series of Scrapbook Saturday. Whether you are a seasoned scrapbooker or a beginner and just want to know more about it, I hope that this series will have something for everyone. So sit back, relax, grab your favorite beverage, and join me on Scrapbook Saturday. The word scrapbook takes me back to days of my own childhood and looking through my parents' scrapbooks. The days of black and white pictures, photos of my parents when they were newlyweds, when they had young children, my brother and I, and even before, like their childhood and school days. I can still remember as a young girl sitting with my mom and looking at the scrapbook and the pages and the pictures and the stories that she would tell. There was no matching pattern paper, no fancy artwork, no stickers or embellishments, yet I treasure those photos to this day. Which brings me to tip number 1. There is no wrong way to scrapbook. Use a little, use a lot, but one thing you will need is to get photos out of your phone, printed, and into a scrapbook. When it comes to ordering pictures, there's quite a few options to choose from. Many companies have an app that makes ordering pictures quick and easy on your phone. You can choose to order from a place where you can pick up your pictures locally, like Walgreens or CVS or Walmart, or you can have them arrive by mail, places like Snapfish, Shutterfly, or one of my favorites, Persnickety. Once you have your photos, you will want to get started on collecting a few tools. When starting out with scrapbooking, you'll want to choose an album. You'll need that so that you can measure the size of the page layout that you are going to be working with. There are many different sizes. This one is an 8x8 that has page protectors inside it that you just slide your page layout from the top. There's also different patterns that you can get. This one is an 8.5x11, and the post on here, there's 2 posts here, but they fit just at 8.5x11 page protector. And there are lots of different designs that you can choose from as well. You can even use a binder. This particular one has page protectors inside of it that you can just buy like at an office store, and it's a 3-ring binder. So you can use that. That's probably the least expensive one to choose from when you're getting started. You're going to need to have a pair of scissors handy, a good pair that are not dull, that will cut paper well. If you do a lot of scrapbooking, you can also bring in a paper trimmer. This one is a paper trimmer that goes out to 17 inches. It has a sleeve here. This one's by Stampin' Up. They also carry, other brands carry them, like Fiskars as well. You can find these at your local, like an arts and crafts store. A lot of them will carry that. This is just a pair of office scissors. I believe I got this one at Costco. You also will want to have some adhesive. And again, there's a lot of different kinds that you have to choose from. My favorite, if you've seen videos, this is my go-to. It's an ATG gun, is what they call it, made by Scotch. I like this because the tape refills in here are fairly large, and I go through this very quickly. And so this allows me to not have to refill the tape as much. But of course, I also use Stampin' Up, the adhesive they have as well too, a little tape runner. You can pick liquid glue if you want to. This is the Tombow multi-purpose adhesive glue. It's liquid, so because it takes a little bit longer to dry, if you're laying something down, you have a little bit of leeway. You can move it around a little bit because it's still wet. But for pictures, to actually lay down pictures, I do prefer an acid-free type of dry adhesive. A lot of my page layouts start out with a white sheet of paper. Just think of it like a blank canvas, and I like to have plenty of white paper on hand. You'll also want to have some different colors of paper as well. You can get inspiration for these colors by looking at scrapbook catalogs and websites one of the ones that is my go-to, of course, is my Stampin' Up! Catalog. And inside here, there are the suites that they have available, and they show pattern paper. But then what's really nice is that they show a grouping of a few colors here of all of the colors that coordinate with this particular designer series paper. I'll bring that in so you can see. Right there. So that's sometimes the word, it's like my go-to. I don't have to really think about what color is going to go with, you know, which shade goes with a different shade. So that's what I really like about looking specifically at like paper crafting websites or catalogs themselves, like this particular one. Okay, so I went ahead and grabbed some Mossy Meadow cardstock. And I have a sheet of the Poppies designer series paper that I have cut. This is just I store my pattern paper either in 6x12 or 6x6 sizes. So when I get it, comes in a 12x12 sheet of paper, but I will cut it down just because it's easier for me to store in my craft room. And like I said, I like to start out with a piece of plain white paper. This is a Whisper White, and then this is double-sided right here. So what I'm going to do with this one is just cut this down because I'm using 8.5 by 11 with my paper trimmer. I'm going to cut this pattern paper 8.5 inches. And then I'm going to trim this, so what's left of this, down to, I think, about 4 inches. Okay. And then I will leave this as well. I also have a piece of the Mossy Meadow. Might as well cut that out while I have my trimmer out. And if I'm using just a regular 4x6 picture, I'm going to use my Mossy Meadow as a mat for that picture. So I'm going to cut that at 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. And the reason for that is because I'm going to allow a 1/4 inch extra to serve as a mat for my photo. And this again is just a beginner page layout. So you can see where I've cut those pieces, and now I'm going to take my adhesive and just go ahead and adhere the larger piece of cardstock to the bottom of my 8.5 by 11 paper. And then with this, the rest of the pattern paper, I'm actually going to flip it over, and it's going to be, just place it right above the piece of cardstock that I've already adhered onto my white cardstock. Okay, so just fit in like this. Okay. And then this is going to be the mat, and I'm going to go ahead and adhere that on. Like this. And there you have a very quick, easy page just using some pattern paper and one piece of solid cardstock with the white as the base of the page. Watching today. Next week's video will have more tips on working with pattern paper. Your challenge for the week, should you choose to accept it, is to get a few pictures out of your camera and printed. Next week, I'll be working on layouts with multiple photos and adding several colors using inspiration that I discussed in today's video. Until then, have a great week. Bye.